Last week, in my quick tip episode, I talked about why every business needs a clear attendance policy and how to create one that sets expectations and protects your business. But what happens when employees repeatedly show up late, miss work, or no call, no show? In today's episode, I'll walk you through how to discipline employees for poor attendance effectively, legally, and fairly so you can address problems without creating bigger ones down the road.
Welcome to Biz Help for You, the show that saves you the expensive learning curve by providing advice from industry experts in every facet of the entrepreneurial journey. Too many small businesses collapse. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, 20% fail within their first year, and less than 35% make it to their 10th anniversary. The goal of this podcast is to change that statistic. So if you're interested in learning more to be a successful entrepreneur, tune in today.
Welcome to this quick tip episode of Biz Help for You. I'm Candy Messer, and in 10 minutes or less, I tackle one business question to help you make smarter decisions because I want to see you succeed and truly enjoy running your business. Attendance is a challenge many business owners face, and you may be too. You've set the rules and created a solid attendance policy, but now you're dealing with repeated lateness, unexplained absences, or no call, no shows, and you're unsure how to respond. The rule here is consistency. Any disciplinary action related to attendance must be applied consistently across all employees, regardless of their role, seniority, or personal relationship with you. Inconsistent enforcement doesn't just damage morale, but it also exposes you to legal risk, especially if an employee claims discrimination or unfair treatment. One thing to make sure you're following is your written attendance policy to the letter. That policy should outline how attendance issues are addressed, including what constitutes a violation, how and when warnings are given, what the escalation steps are, and under what conditions termination may occur. Now let's talk about the disciplinary process itself. A well-structured process often follows a progressive discipline model. Here's what that typically looks like. Step 1, verbal warning. This is usually informal, but should still be documented. You're letting the employee know that a pattern is developing and it needs to be addressed. This is a time to get curious. Ask questions such as, is there something going on outside of work? Or, are you struggling with transportation or caregiving responsibilities? This isn't just about holding people accountable. It's also about identifying barriers to attendance and working towards solutions. Step 2, written warning. This formalizes the issue. At this stage, you should have documentation of the prior verbal warning, dates of absences or tardiness, and notes from any conversations. The written warning should describe the violation, reference the company's attendance policy, and outline next steps if the behavior continues. Have the employees sign the document, or if they refuse, note that on the form and have a witness sign instead. Step 3, final warning or suspension. If there's still no improvement, you may choose to issue a final written warning or a short suspension. This step signals that continued violations will likely lead to termination. Again, make sure you document everything. Step 4, termination. When you reach this point, it should never be a surprise to the employee. Termination should follow clear documentation of each disciplinary step, including dates, conversations, and copies of signed forms. Now let's talk about the legal side of things. This is where a lot of well-intentioned business owners get tripped up. It's critical that your attendance discipline process doesn't violate federal, state, or local labor laws. Here are the 4 biggest legal risks when disciplining for attendance. Number 1, FMLA violations. If your employee is eligible under the Family and Medical Leave Act and they miss work for a qualifying reason, that absence is protected. You cannot discipline or terminate them for that time off. This applies to serious health conditions, caring for a family member, or parental leave. Know the eligibility rules and always verify whether FMLA applies before taking action. I recorded an episode on this topic in the past, and a link is in the description if you'd like to learn more about this policy. ADA violations, number 2. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, you must provide reasonable accommodations to employees with disabilities, which may include flexible attendance or medical leave. Firing someone without considering the rights under the ADA could lead to a costly lawsuit. A link to a recent episode on workplace accommodations is listed in the description. State or local sick leave laws. Many states and municipalities require employers to provide a certain amount of sick leave. If your employee is using legally protected sick time, even repeatedly, you cannot penalize them for it. Number 4, discrimination claims. If your attendance policy is enforced more harshly against certain groups, whether based on race, gender, religion, age, or other protected classes, you're exposing yourself to discrimination claims. This is why consistency in enforcement and clear documentation are so important. A good rule of thumb is to always ask why the employee was absent before you discipline. Not to excuse poor behavior, but to ensure you're not punishing a legally protected absence. Also, avoid relying solely on a point system that penalizes all absences equally. Courts have ruled against point-based attendance systems that don't allow exceptions for protected leave. Something that's important to document is occurrences in real time. Waiting until the end of the week, or worse, at the end of the quarter to document issues can weaken your case and open you up to challenges. Keep records clean, dated, and secure. Let's quickly address tone in communication. Discipline doesn't need to feel harsh or adversarial. When done correctly, it's a professional conversation, not a personal attack. Be direct, but be respectful. Focus on behavior, not character. Stick to the facts, cite the policy, and stay calm. To recap, make sure that you follow your written policy and apply it consistently. Use progressive discipline, a verbal warning, a written warning, final warning or suspension, and termination. Ask the reason for the absence and check for legal protections. Document every step clearly. Avoid common legal pitfalls, especially with FMLA, ADA, and state sick leave laws. And finally, approach each case with fairness. Your goal is not just to correct attendance issues, but to maintain trust, compliance, and a workplace culture that values both accountability and humanity. Addressing attendance issues isn't about punishment, it's about clarity, consistency, and protecting both your business and your team. By following your written policy, using progressive discipline, asking about legal protections, documenting every step, and communicating respectfully, you maintain trust while holding employees accountable. When done correctly, discipline strengthens your workplace culture instead of damaging it. Thanks for tuning in to this quick tip episode of Biz Help for You. I hope you learned how to discipline employees for poor attendance effectively, legally, and fairly, while protecting your business and maintaining trust in your team. If you have a question you'd love to hear covered, send me a message at media@abandp.com. If you find this topic helpful, would you leave a review and share it with others? And if you'd like to financially support the show, a link is in the show notes. Until next time, have a great day. Thank you for tuning in today. Would you please share this episode with those you know and leave a review on your favorite platform? And if you find our show informative, would you consider being a financial sponsor to help me continue my mission to educate business owners? A link is located in the episode description, and no amount is too small. I'd really appreciate your support. If you are interested in connecting with our guest and receiving the offer they had to share, a link to our resource page is in the show notes. Finally, if you have any bookkeeping or payroll needs, reach out to us at 310-534-5577 or contact@abandp.com. My team and I are eager to assist you. Until next time, have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Biz Help for You. Please join your host, Candy Messer, again next time. Have a terrific day.